Good morning. Good morning. This is Shannon C. Harris, your life empowerment strategist. Welcome to No Longer Broken. And hope you all had a fabulous holiday if you celebrate the holiday. If you got a chance to spend time with your family and friends, I hope you enjoyed that. And I want to welcome you to the 7-day Tri Level Detox Challenge Day 1. And I am so excited for this. If you're joining me, I apologize that I didn't get a chance to get on yesterday and give you a little bit of feedback and give you some of the prep work that I did. But if you missed my other video that I did on Saturday about my food purchases and the different things that I bought to start my challenge, please go back and do that. And yeah, I'm really just excited about doing this. As I said on Saturday, I've had some people contact me or some people reach out to me and wanting to know a little bit more. And I just want to let you know that the reason that I'm doing this detox challenge, and again, for me, when I say tri-level detox, for me, it means detoxing my body, detoxing my mind, and detoxing my spirit. And I'm doing this because I want to have a deeper spiritual awareness when it comes to the year 2018. And if you've been on a fast before, or if you've ever been on a detox, maybe you never have. And the purpose of doing this is that it brings so much more clarity to your mind. Many people don't know that when you eat certain foods and you don't take time to let your body kind of have a break from all the different things that you may eat, that it can start to mess with your mind. It can start to mess with your ability, the way that you think, and how you're able to process information, how you're able to move forward. There's a lot of illnesses that we have in our bodies because of the kind of foods that we eat, the toxins that are naturally attached to the foods that we eat, and not our body not being able to properly digest the food that we eat. So that's another reason that I'm going on this physical detox, because I want to be able to think better mentally, and I also want to be able to connect to the Almighty more spiritually, and they all go hand in hand. And the level that I do it on may not be the level that you do it on, and I do also want to offer this disclaimer. If you have some type of mental or physical issue that's going on, before you even start changing up different things in your diet, some things you can do subtly, but please reach out to your physician. And hey, Miss Katrina, good morning. Please do that before you enter or you undertake anything that's major. As I told some of you before, I've suffered from being diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was in the hospital a couple years ago with congestive heart failure, was on a life vest for 2.5 months. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that meant that my heart was pumping blood at such a low rate that any minute I could go in a cardiac arrest. I could go into cardiac failure. So I had to wear this vest so that if that happened, it would sense that my heart stopped beating and it would shock me back to life and give me an opportunity to get to the hospital. But for the last couple of years, through monitoring what I eat and doing exercise and things like that, I've seen such an improvement in my health. And also, the things that you go through, whether it's having anger, whether it's having unforgiveness, those things can begin to manifest themselves in physical ailments throughout your body. Even stress can cause you to have major headaches, have your blood pressure go up, all sorts of things. So just this, again, this detox, this 7-day detox that I'm going on to bring in the new year, has so many multiple levels of meanings for me. And as far as what you do, I would suggest that you just take a moment out to get quiet, to pray, and to ask what it is that you should be doing for yourself. My daughter, she's joining me on part of the detox, and she asked me, she was like, well, where did you get this from? Did you go online and look up certain things? And I was like, no, I'm going with what I believe is good for me. I'm going with the different things in my life that I know that I need to change. For some people, you may want to get off of meat. For me, I'm taking out, I don't really eat any pork anyway, but pork, beef, poultry out of my diet. Later on this week, I may have some seafood like salmon or a piece of fish. But for the most part, I'm going on somewhat of a vegetarian diet. And that's just because I know that I have a lot of bloating in my midsection. My weight fluctuates up and down. And it isn't because I eat bad on a regular basis, but because of some of the things that I'm eating. For you, it may be that you might want to get rid of beef, or you may want to get rid of pork for 7 days, or you may want to get rid of sugar. I'm not eating any processed sugar. I'm not eating any breads. I'm staying away from coffee, which is hard because in the morning I love my Starbucks. I'm not even going to lie. But what I'm going to do, instead of spending the money on Starbucks, I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put it into a jar because of some things that I'm saving for. As some of you know, I also have my Inspired Women Business Solutions page where I help women talk about financial freedom and also to discover their entrepreneurial dreams and help them start their businesses. So that's something I'll be talking about on there, how you can start just saving money from decreasing your budget and decreasing your spending. And this also helps that because sometimes we spend a lot of money on unnecessary food that we don't need, and we can take that money and put it to the side and save it for something else to pay down some bills, get out of debt, things of that nature. So one of the first things that I did this morning is one thing that I did I'll be doing for the 7 days is that I will be setting my alarm clock for 1 hour earlier than I intend to get up. And for many of us, if you have to go to a regular job or you have to get up early for some reason, it's so easy to hit that snooze button to try to get that 15 minutes in. But I find that starting your day off with prayer and meditation and commanding your morning makes such a difference during your day. If you automatically pop up out of bed and you don't have a moment to pray or just even breathe and think about what you want to manifest in your day, think about how you want your day to go, it can throw your whole day completely off. And there's a book by Dr. Cindy Trim that I read often called Commanding Your Morning. I've read the whole book, but sometimes I go back through and I look at some of the different places that I highlighted that stuck out to me when I first read the book. And it helps me to remember to state my intentions for that day. And one of the things that I also did, even though I set my alarm clock for an hour earlier, I tend to wake up lately between the hours of 3 and 4 o'clock anyway, just automatically. It just happens for me. But I did that just in case I didn't wake up for some reason between 3 and 4 because my intention is to get up at 6, but I didn't want to just hop up out of bed. And so before I went to bed, I put a bottle of water by my bed. You can put a glass of water by your bed, cover it up, what have you. And I drank that because it's I read that it's good to start your day off with a glass or two or a bottle of 2 of water that's room temperature because it starts to get your system moving. So after I drank that water, I laid there for a little bit and I did my prayer and I did my meditation to set my day and to get started, because instead of hitting that snooze button and jumping out of bed and then you jump up and you rush around, why not just set it for an hour early? It doesn't mean that you have to get up. But it's kind of nice to just be able to lay there and, just let your mind go and let your mind wander and not feel like you're being rushed. So I did that. And then after I drank the water, and I said, after I did my prayer and meditation, and I intended to get up right away, but my baby girl, she loves to snuggle. So she kind of put her arm around me, and that made it a little bit hard to get up at exactly 6. But I did get up. And last night, my intention was also to prepare my detox water, but I wasn't able to get to that because I were at my parents so late. But I did get up this morning and do that. And have a couple of things here that I want to make sure I don't forget to share. So I'm going to grab this here. I want to knock anything over. Just tore my table. But so the detox water that I prepared is a mixture of lemon, lime, and cucumber in a bottle of spring water. And I don't know if you could see this here. But I just have this really handy, nifty jar that has a spout on it. And from what I read, that you should at least let the water set for at least 2 hours before you start drinking it, if not overnight. And the good part about the lemon and the lime is that the lemon and the lime help with what did it say? That the lemon and the lime helps with fighting infection, cleansing your kidneys and reducing inflammation and preventing bloating. And I, a lot of women, we deal with the bloating aspect, especially in our stomach, different, going through the different parts of your cycle every month. And also just, again, from eating certain things, like certain things for me, I'll eat and I'll automatically experience bloating as soon as I eat them, because there's something going on with my digestive tract that hasn't been medically diagnosed, but I can just tell from the difference in my body how my clothes fit. And again, pay attention to your body. We know our bodies better than anybody, so you can go to the doctor and they can tell you different things, but they're just doing a process of elimination because that's what they're trained to do. But you have to know your body better than anybody, because they can throw things at you that might not work but can make your situation a little bit worse. So I have my detox drink that I'll be sipping on throughout the day. I haven't eaten any breakfast yet, but what I did do is I also have a mug of red raspberry leaf tea, and I sweeten that with just a little bit of honey, because I'm also staying away from sugar. But if you don't like honey, another thing that I often use, and because I don't like to use white sugar is really, really terrible for you, but they have this pure cane sugar, and it is not expensive at all. And the difference between regular white sugar and pure cane sugar is that white sugar has had all of the natural properties of the sugar stripped out of it. That's why it's white. It's been bleached and it's been processed. The pure cane sugar is close to the purest form of sugar that you're going to get, because it comes straight off of the sugar cane. And some artificial sweeteners also go through the same process. They say no sugar added, but you have the stevia and the equal and stuff like that. You can still use a little bit of this regular pure cane sugar and it will do the same thing. And there's also something else. I tried to think it was coconut sugar. I didn't like the taste of that very much at all, so I don't like using that. But that right there, I use that in when I use sugar in anything, I'll use that if I'm not using honey. And the other good thing about honey is that honey is a natural energy booster, and it also helps if you have diabetes. So just using a little bit of that. So I like using honey in anything that I use. And the reason why I chose the red raspberry leaf tea, let me just go back a little bit to the meditation that I did this morning. For those of you who may not also know that there are different energy centers that are in our spiritual being that also interacts with how we go throughout our day physically, how we think, how we process information. And they start from our feet and they go up to the top of our head. And one of the energy centers is around your in your pelvis area. And for me, I've been experiencing some different issues related to, I'm getting older now, so I know some of that, but being related to having my menstrual cycle being off, and again, the bloating area and some different things. And also, for some of us who kind of have like strong personalities, our feminine and our masculine energy can be a little bit off. And you're like, what does that have to do with anything? If you're a creative person, then that means that you can, and you're noticing that your creativity is a little bit off, or you're not able to move the way that you would like to move. That shows that there could be an imbalance in your feminine and your masculine energy. Or the fact that you just kind of want to be more feminine. You want to just be more relaxed. You want to just be more fluid. Then what you want to do is you want to do some type of prayer meditation that has to do with your feminine energy. So one of the reasons that I chose to drink red raspberry leaf tea, because I kind of have a theme going on today, because I meditated with that, with trying to bring up my feminine energy and being more just calm and just, pretty and, things like that. I don't know if you've ever experienced that before, but being in the kind of field that I was in with the bell bonds, and also sometimes being a single mother, having to go toe-to-toe with my other boys, I noticed that my masculine energy could, I could get a little bit up there and forget to just be feminine and be soft. So I centered myself around that. And also the red raspberry leaf tea is really good for the feminine reproductive system. It increases fertility for anybody out there who might be trying to have a baby. If you're not, I understand. It boosts the immune system, protects the heart, decreases inflammation. It supports the metabolism, regulates your hormones, prevents nausea. It helps with gastro issues, high blood pressure, aching joints because it has potassium, iron, magnesium, vitamin C, and vitamin E in it. And also, when I was pregnant with my children, if you're watching and you're pregnant, you're getting close to your due date, or even if you're in a few months, again, I'm not giving any medical advice. It's just something that I did. So you may want to check with your doctor if you're, have gestational diabetes or anything else going on with your pregnancy. But the closer that I got to my due date, I started to drink 2 to 3 cups of the red raspberry leaf tea because it tones your uterus and it makes the contractions less intense, and it also prepares you for delivery so that when it's time for you to deliver, you don't have to push as much. And also, after you have the baby, it helps to tone your uterus as well. And it helps with the whole process of, not bleeding as long and things like that. And if you're not pregnant, it's also good because, again, it keeps your uterus toned. It helps to fight against fibroids and things like that. I have 6 children. The first 5 I had all natural. The last one, I didn't have my doula with me, so that's a different story for another day. But all 5 of them, the one before my 5th child, my son, he was born at home. So, again, but even if you're just trying to, do something for your body as a woman, this right here is needed, especially since it has iron in it. We as women, we can suffer from anemia, not having enough iron in our blood. If you find yourself cold all the time, that's something that you want to get. So those are just some of the things that I've done this morning so far. And I'm also, to help my mind, I'm staying away from social media. I won't be watching any TV during the 7 days. I like to get on YouTube sometimes. One of my favorite things to watch is like Forensic Files and different court shows and things like that. But I won't be doing any of that as well, because the other thing that you'll find as you begin to detox your body, your mind will be